Northern Legacy on Northern Life is brought to you by Dahlberg Law.
Welcome back, folks. This program is called Northern Life, and one of the big parts of life, of course, is preparing ourselves and our loved ones for what is to come afterwards. And that's why we're excited to welcome back, once again, attorney Chris Dahlberg. Chris, thank you again for hanging out with us.
Good to be here.
Yeah, so we talked last time more about wills versus trusts and why is it so important, talking about governing from the grave. But can you give us a little synopsis again about why it is so important to have all these things prepared?
Yeah, well, it's if you don't prepare, there's going to be default, and it can be by what's the Minnesota statute or Wisconsin statute, and that just means the government decides how it should go, and it might not be according to what your plans are. So this way, there might be certain children you want to give more to, there might be a nephew you want to give more to, so you get to plan. You've worked hard all your life. You get to control on your death where things go.
We talked about a little bit about the will last time, but touch more about what exactly a trust is and when that's useful.
Well, I joke about saying the will is basic. It's kind of default. Here you go, kids. Whereas a trust is governing from the grave.
Yep.
You set out a roadmap. Why do we do trusts? There's probably 4 different situations, I'd say, Hunter. The first one is a blended family. Clients come to me, and this is their second or third marriage. They're bringing in, they both have their sets of kids. You might have a case of a disabled child or a child that has alcohol or drug problems. You might have a family business, and you just don't want a fire sale saying, here you go, kids, it's yours. You want to think it out. Or you have a legacy property, and that could be a cabin, and it doesn't matter if it's a beautiful cabin on Vermilion that's worth $2 million, or if it's a shack that's ready to fall over. It's sentimental, or it could be a home on Lake Superior. And so those are really the 4 reasons why you do that.
Sure, and we're going to touch on each one of these separately here. I imagine blended family comes up pretty frequently.
It does.
Yes.
And obviously, we all know that it's the reality of life. There's divorces, and I don't know what the statistics are there. Is it 50% of marriages get divorced? And then one of the things I find older clients are getting remarried. They might have lost a spouse. And so I'll have clients that are 70, 75, 80 years old getting married a second time. And 30, 40 years ago, Hunter, that would have been considered foolish.
Yeah.
You just say, why are you doing that? Because life expectancy, you might be married at 75, you only have 2 years left. Mm-hmm. Now we know you could get married at 75. You could have 20 good years.
Seriously.
But there's a problem it brings with you. Husband and wife come into the marriage, they both come in with substantial amounts of money, or maybe one spouse comes in with a lot of money, the other doesn't. And they've worked all their life, second marriage, and now what's going to happen when one of those spouses passes? And that's where it gets, as I say, legal terms, squirrely.
That's a solid legal term
Yes.
right there. That's what you learn right in law school. Talk a little bit more. I've heard about the phrase, you can't write out a spouse. What does that mean?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you can write out your children. So if you say, you're out of the will, that's a good time to announce it at Thanksgiving. Just say, that's it, enough.
Yep.
But you can't write out a spouse in Minnesota. You have a spousal elective share, it's called. So if all of a sudden a spouse finds out after a death that, he gave everything to the kids, you can claw it back, and there's ways to do it. But you can also agree when you're married and both spouses are living, you can agree to some type of a joint estate planning. You can do a waiver of spousal elective share to say, you know what, we agree this is fair, you should get your kids this much or that. Or else we're doing a trust that works out to make sure the surviving spouse is taken care of, but on the death, it goes out, and we can do something that's like irrevocable and some protections.
Okay, well,
but there's complications that you can imagine.
I can definitely imagine.
Yeah.
Thank you so much again.